necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife.
Welcome back. You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, but today we're helping you make and keep 5 simple New Year's resolutions as we head into 2024. I'm calling them the bare necessities of the new year, all governed by one philosophy. A New Year's resolution we intend to renew every year for as long as this channel marches forward, bringing Hollywood Homer on a budget. The next resolution on deck is to read more, and while there are 50 ways to leave your lover, in here you'll find 100 ways to never leave your love of reading behind in the new year. This is the Book of Books, exploring America's 100 best-loved novels. It's the companion book to the PBS Summer and Fall 2018 competition of sorts to find out of the 100 books America's all-time favorite read. It's called The Great American Read, hosted by Meredith Vieira, who provides the foreword. This Black Dog and Leventhal companion publication was picked up for an astoundingly high $12.99 from Unique in Patterson, where I do most of my business. I say astoundingly high because I think it's kind of abnormal and bad pricing practice for Unique to price books like this so high. I mean, PBS is nothing not accessible, and companion books to any PBS program should be priced just as accessible. That being said, I bought many books for $12.99 at Unique, and once again I might have to cut them some slack because what you're going to find in here for all of you book lovers may just be worth its weight in gold. After all, the most populated playlist on the channel is Hollywood literacy, and that means books. Yes, there are magazines and cookbooks, that is, if they're made by celebrities or based off of TV shows and movies, but for the most part, it's books. This is The Great American Read, the Book of Books, celebrating America's 100 best-loved novels. The books whose ideas, characters, and themes have shaped our country and reflected back to us. It's priced at $29.99 in the US and $38.99 in Canada. To keep it relatively short and sweet, I'm going to highlight just 3 books in here. First up is The Color Purple by Alice Walker. If you've seen the 1985 Oscar-nominated film from Oprah Winfrey and Quincy Jones and, of course, Steven Spielberg, or the newly released big screen adaptation of the Broadway musical, you have a pretty good gist of what Alice Walker delivered in this 1982 publication. It's listed here as number 21. By the way, all 100 books are actually not chronologically ordered by way as they aired in the series, but all in alphabetical order. They're presented as such from A, not really to Z, but near the end of the alphabet. Anyway, in terms of photographs, you get author photographs, you get first edition covers, you get rejection letters of all memorabilia in here. You also get lines that were deleted from some of the books, and speaking of which, we have separate articles in here about the first lines of many a great literary classic. There's even a section in here on embracing banned books, relationships between authors, and how creating a great book can be a family affair. And even an article on the best adaptations from page to stage and screen. This, by the way, is the framework of today's review. When an adaptation from a novel succeeds, as those listed below do, fans get double the pleasure. The joy of reading the book coupled with the thrill of seeing beloved characters and plots enacted on screen or on stage. We have here 3 groups of adaptations: big screen, stage, and small screen. Movies, plays and musicals together, and television shows. Well, I just highlighted The Color Purple belongs in the Best Plays and Musicals section, although it could easily be slotted under Best Movies, as author and researcher Jessica Allen states. Meticulous research, I might add. The next book I'm going to highlight here belongs to the Best Movie section. And it's a movie that's not really near and dear to my heart, but as a YouTuber it kind of is, because I covered this movie many times in the form of books. Making of books, really. From the elaborate production which went through many directors and, of course, the legendary Search for Scarlet, all the way to the fanfare and beyond that it earned in the Atlanta world premiere. That, of course, is Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. Her solo debut, her one and only literary classic made in 1936, and of course in 1939, brought to life like no one else ever could. Next up is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Of course, that would be a Game of Thrones. That belongs under Best TV Shows, and no argument here about that. HBO hit gold with George R.R. Martin and his Game of Thrones. The first book was made in 1996, and I bet you anything, if he even considered retirement, he would want to do his fans proud with at least one more Game of Thrones to play. Then maybe HBO will want to consider into a silver screen adaptation. Who knows? What I know for sure is that this is absolutely meticulously, thoughtfully researched. Once again, in terms of photographs, you got manuscripts, rejection letters, first edition covers, black and white and full color photos of the authors hard at work. And in terms of the diversity of the 100 books in here, I mean, if you want to talk about Mark Twain to Stephanie Meyer, and I'm not kidding here. If you want to talk about Larry McMurtry to Andy Weir. If you want to talk about C.S. Lewis to E.L. James. If you want to talk about Twilight to The Hunger Games. They're all in here. And yes, PBS went so far as to include The Hunger Games, Twilight, and even 50 Shades. Pretty stupid. But that just shows you how much respect PBS has for the written word. To make it easier for you, they categorized all the 100 books in here by genre as well. Action, adventure, fantasy, thrillers, science fiction, romance. They even include some resources for readers if you want to learn more about literacy on your electronic device, or visiting your local library, or attending book festivals in person, visiting historic literary places, and surrounding yourself with literature fans. Just to hammer home the point one last time that you definitely ought to embrace reading through the power of PBS, they list all of the books in here from A to W on the back. As far as celeb recommendations go, there aren't that many other than visionaries from the journalism world, and maybe a few other words waxing poetic and brief about their favorite books, like Leslie Staub's 60 Minutes on CBS. That's as far as it goes. But the stage and screen adaptations in here made me buy this. What is your favorite book of the 100 listed in here? Or maybe do you have a top 5? Let me know. Otherwise, this gets all 5 claps. That's the maximum score I can give it. If you can't take it from Willie Amos, or LeVar Burton, or even Meredith Vieira, hopefully you can take it from me. Celebrities love to read. If not, we wouldn't have Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey or The Hunger Games on the big screen. Okay, probably not good examples, but the moral of this story is, learn to read. Once you do, I bet you anything, this will be the pot of gold that awaits you at the end of your reading rainbow. If you thought I wasn't going to reference those 2 PBS institutions, you probably can't read the signs of what we are all about. Thanks for watching. Check out more TSR by clicking on another awesome review like this one, top left. And be sure to subscribe by clicking top right. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.